Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Drop Frames. It's Olympic weekend. Zeke, I'm going to go straight to you because Co doesn't watch TV. What'd you think of Celine Dion's performance there at the Eiffel Tower? How'd you feel?
Oh my God, it was magical. It was magical. It was stunning. Just being able to view her struggle with, her medical conditions and stuff like that, and then come back and just blast the Paris Olympics. Just amazing. It really was.
Yeah.
Like,
now,
I'm not even,
some people might be sarcastic, but he's
I feel like
actually
that started
on
as a
point.
joke, but like actually transitioned into something
that's
pretty
real. Yes,
yeah.
it's actually.
Okay.
No, it did start as a joke, but I'm like, no, she
killed it.
It was really cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was cool to see.
Yeah,
great.
She killed it.
It's very cool.
She's got a Celine Dion had a Amazon documentary talking about her. What is the name of the illness or disease that she has? Zeke? It's like
I'm not sure, but it causes seizures, right? It causes not seizures, like tense of muscles.
It's stiff person syndrome.
Vocal
That's
paralysis.
what it is.
There you go.
Yeah, she has stiff person syndrome, and she will have vocal paralysis where she just can't sing. But somehow, some way, she went out there and she crushed it at the Olympics. She sang on the fucking Eiffel Tower. It was a crazy performance. Paris crushed it with their opening ceremony from a production standpoint. Also,
I didn't.
Yeah, Gojira was incredible. Yeah.
I didn't watch it live.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
The Celine Dion performance. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it through a clip. Yeah. And I was like, oh God, is this gonna be sad? I was really like,
wait, with Celine?
Celine Dion, yeah.
Dude.
And I watched it. I was like, couldn't even I don't know anything about her condition or whatever. I've just heard about it. I've seen the little videos here and there.
Sure.
So I didn't know. I had no idea what to expect. But I watched it. I was actually like, that's pretty wonderful.
It was very good. The opening was actually kind of wild. They cut a part out here in the U.S. because it was supposed to be I think it was supposed to be like Bacchus, like a wine party type deal, and there was a drag show, and they cut a lot of that out. And then he had a banana hammock on, and his actual nuts slipped out live on TV. Apparently. And so apparently they got that from the U.S.
Now,
which I think is hilarious.
Here's what I heard, though.
Okay.
What I heard and the picture I saw was that it looked like his nuts.
It wasn't?
But it was a hole in the stocking.
Oh.
Right on the crotch area. So it's all this dark area with a circular area of light.
Because he was purple.
Looks like his testicles were hanging out.
Yeah, they body painted him purple. So maybe you're right. Yeah, that might be right.
Oh, I was thinking of a different guy.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong guy. I don't know.
Okay,
dude, that opening was wild. All right,
yeah, it was. No question at all.
They had a bunch of random shit, which was a lot of fun.
And also, I love that America thinks they can apply their sensibilities to France. It's oh my God, that is terrible. It's
I like it.
France has been around a lot longer than we have. You know that, right?
Yeah, it was pretty funny when they did the Gojira segment and it cut to oh God damn it, now I'm blanking on her name. The girl that was beheaded in the fucking actual building, Antoinette, Marie Antoinette. Yeah, and she was holding her head, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, that's satanical." Why?
Dude, there's been some entire write-ups about the satanistic iconography of the Gojira. There's this actual thing where they're like, yeah, this is the beginning of the end. If you see if you look at the white horse and the rider, that indicates this passage.
I didn't even think
and if you look at
that.
this and this, then it's this passage. And they literally equated the entire performance to different biblical warnings. And they're like, yeah, this is the beginning of the end.
Dude, that horse was fucking badass. And the armor that she was wearing, or that the person was wearing was sick. I think it was she. I don't know who it was. It was awesome.
Three things now. That horse, I saw something almost it was even bigger at Burning Man that you operated with 4 people.
Yeah.
And it was a mechanical horse that would run and wings that would flap and shit like that. Really cool. Second, have you seen all the posts about it? It's heavy metal is back. We're back, satanic, baby. Whoa!
That is
everybody's
true.
like, fucking metal is back to scaring people. Hooray!
All they had to do was just put fire in red behind Gojira, and everyone's like, well, that's Satan. He's back. Why is he? Where's he been? He's been right here in France, apparently. And Zeke, I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if that horse idea actually came from Burning Man in some form.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
It the design
it
of
honestly
it
looked
looked
like
very
a performance
Burning Man.
piece, like
Yeah,
from like Burners for sure.
it really did.
Especially the Bacchanalia like idea. You know, like people falsely equated it with the Last Supper when it's actually like a feast of Dionysus.
Yeah,
which is the god of wine and orgies.
Yep. Oh well, that was the other part. Is they did this whole library sequence, right? And it was like these three people that were like just reading books, which in America, that's already kind of bad in a lot of states. It's horrifying that you would go to a library and read a book. And then at the end of that segment, it basically is insinuating that it's like a throuple. They're gonna go have a threesome because they shut the door and like wink. And Americans were just like, what the fuck is this sex doing on my TV?
What is a throuple?
That's a 3-person relationship. There's a couple, and then there's a throuple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that we're educating.
Throuple.
You know, not only you, I'm sure there's a lot of our 70-year-old listeners as well that are not, up to...
I just went straight to the swinging. I mean, I don't have time for throupling, whatever that is.
True.
Yeah, we're just
you don't want the relationship. You just
ain't got no
you
time
just
for
go
another.
swinging.
I got one per. I don't need two. That's too much time.
Sure, I get it.
Them talking about the opening ceremony, like people who are pearl clutching or whatever, got their panties in a bunch about it.
Yeah.
It honestly reminds me a lot. Like someone made a comparison. I was like, yep. Reminds me a lot of the Monster Energy lady. That whole thing. Where she's like, you look at the Monster Energy can and you turn it upside down. And these things, it's like a pitchfork. It's for Satan.
Oh, I never heard that. That's
I've
crazy.
never heard of that.
It's an old ass meme.
That must have been from like the early 2000s or something. Because Monster Energy's been around for a while, yeah. Oh, that's apparently a Vine. That was a Vine. Vine was TikTok.
Or Vine.
before
Vine.
TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
it's hilarious, but they're looking for
Vine was-
every little
Anyway.
like, okay, look at this. If you look at this, that's part of this Bible verse and blah 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 blah. And it's so good.
Yeah.
It actually like gave me joy to see this.
Yeah, it's good. I think I was trying to decide this morning. We've had Olympics occur because we've been doing this show long enough, but I don't know if I've ever spoken. I want to say we talked about it once on the show, but I don't know if you guys are big Olympics
esports
watchers.
at the Olympics?
No, just general Olympics.
General.
Like if you guys are Olympic watchers, or if you partake at all
really.
in watching. Co's out. Zeke, do you watch any of the Olympics at all? Do you care about any of the storylines or anything like that?
Not particularly, no.
Okay.
I used to when it was on TV, I'd watch it, but now I don't know. I don't purposely avoid it. It's just I don't seek it out, I guess.
Yeah. I on YouTube TV on like the normal. I didn't have to do anything. First off, I like loaded up YouTube TV on Friday night after like a 14-hour binge session of PoE, and I went to just the front page. They've got it to where it actually automatically makes a 4-stream where all 4 of the sports are playing. And as you cycle through them, it like unmutes and singles their audio out. I was like, how the fuck? Like, this is the coolest thing. Like, I would do this for Twitch streams, but it would be a lot more involved. And now everyone can just watch whatever's popular on that. So that, and it's also training people to be ADHD as fuck. But it's wild.
We've given up on that.
Yeah. It's wild that all that stuff is there. And the other thing is Snoop Dogg, I think, is all over the Olympics as well. So that's how these that's how I guess our generation stays in tune, is Snoop Dogg. Yeah.
Let me say, Co, how can you not watch or be even a little interested? Because I'd rather play video games, and I'm playing like 4 of those right now, and I don't have time.
Now, what if video games were at the Olympics? Because they're gonna be.
I mean, I'm not really into esports, so like I don't really care
But
about.
Co, your
competitive
favorite
games.
mobile games are gonna be at the Olympics. What do you mean? you're gonna be all up in them. Your favorite mobile games,
I will be all up in them.
I'm
That is a
pretty
good
sure
point.
Raid Shadow Legends is gonna be there. Like, I think that's gonna.
Really?
I don't necessarily know if there's an esport to Raid Shadow Legends because I've never played it, but I would be shocked if it wasn't. I feel like the IOC would see the money that gacha games are gonna give them to try to get their game in there to grow the brand. And they'll be like,
shit,
"Give
yeah.
us the fucking money!" Just eating phones, trying to get as much money as possible. Yeah, Clash Royale. I think they have an esport thing. DJ Weed has talked about that before, so Clash Royale will probably be there in some form.
Cool.
No FPS games though, because the
We were talking about that
Olympics.
this morning.
Yeah, the FPS, the Olympics are not about shooting unless it's lasers or
Yeah.
clay pellets or something. Which
Target.
is what they,
Yeah.
target
Air gun,
shooting,
airsoft guns. Yeah,
airsoft
whatever.
guns. Yeah,
Which-
yeah, but there's no
like-
FPSs.
I have to admit, and I say this as an American, I do find it pretty hilarious that like the Americans lost the shooting competition.
Yeah, I
And,
saw
and the
that.
first thing we all did was, that's because they weren't real guns. They were those little flimsy airsoft pellet guns. That's why we didn't win. And it's like,
Dude, I actually watched that competition. I think China won, Korea second, and Kazakhstan was third in that. But they wear like these crazy glasses when they're doing it. It's
dude,
got like
yeah.
this whole setup.
it looks very
to
technical.
Yeah.
It looks very, I mean, have you seen the archery competitions?
No,
Oh my
is that
God, their
just
bows
as
look like
technical?
transformers. They look like they're about to like turn into some kind of weaponry machine. Like pieces come out and things are hanging off and like little weights are dangling. Like
I haven't seen them.
it's crazy, man.
That's awesome.
Like they're awesome what they do with that stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to tune in. Archery is never really a big primetime TV spot. Swimming and
The stabilizers and stuff. Mhm.
gymnastics and all that usually take the spot, so you don't get to see it too much. But yeah,
The thing about archery is it's so clear that field has become like, of course, obviously it's a massive skill, but the thing that's so interesting about archery is that the bows are like the second half of it. And seeing like how the different archers like, you know, utilize all the different cool tech and stabilizers and stuff is really fun.
yeah. It's been a fun event thus far. Australia's in the lead. U.S. is at number 6 right now. For number 6, I don't know why I said 6. Looking at the medals, so we'll give you another update tune in next week for the drop
Australia
frames.
is winning.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. South
That's
Korea.
Aussie.
There you go. South Korea is number 2. China's 3rd. Japan is 4th. Oh wait, it's South Korea is 2. China and Japan are tied for 3, and then Japan is 6th. I guess tied with someone, but it's not. Oh, we're tied with. France is 5th. Google automatically deleted France from the list because they probably saw my IP is from the US. They're like, he wants to see where the US team was. That's wild. France is 5th, US is 6th. And then Kazakhstan is 7th. What did they? Now I'm going down the Olympic rabbit hole. What did Kazakhstan what did Kazakhstan win? I don't know.
How many medals have already been awarded? Like 75 or something like
A
that?
lot. Yeah. A good chunk.
There's so many goddamn events.
There's 9. Oh, wait. Those have multiple. There's got to be at least 15, 30, maybe something like that, of medals out there. I was trying to see what games are going to be at the esports stuff for the Olympics, because they've kind of talked about the different games that'll be there.
I like how somebody with that said swimming, and now I can't stop thinking of like Borat in a bikini swimming at the Olympics.
Oh my God.
Dude, do you guys remember? This was simpler times. I was talking about this with my chat yesterday while I'm trying to find these games. Do you guys remember when Michael Phelps got like sponsorships removed because they found out he smoked weed?
Smoked weed. Yep.
Simpler
I remember that.
times, man.
Now, well, you know, this is interesting. Okay, so there was a lot of stuff about this. There was a recent doping thing where someone got kicked out for weed, and there was this huge thing where it's like, you know, this is terrible. Why does this happen and stuff? So the Olympic guys actually like had to respond,
Yeah.
And here's what I heard, and I'd love to get this confirmed by somebody who knows more about like chemicals and such like that. The thing I heard about the weed thing is that the reason that weed is so big is that the weed can cover up illegal substances.
Oh.
Like if weed gets tested, then it could mean that other stuff is there that the test won't hit. Is that accurate?
I did not know that. That would make sense, though, why they would be
See, now even
so-
Chad is saying some people are saying it's true and other people are saying no. That's why I'm asking and not stating.
Well, those are the people that are saying no, the ones that failed their job test trusting this.
Oh, that's true. They're all the stoners that got kicked out of Whole Foods. Okay, that's true. That's true. I did, by the way. Just for the, I know that seemed kind of exact. That's how I got kicked out of Whole Foods. But yeah,
Wait,
so
Whole Foods fire what? Whole Foods of all the places I would think would be the last place to test.
No, they test
you know what the worst part was? They told me they wouldn't test me, and then the next day the manager was like, "Yo, that thing I said yesterday, my bad. Can you pee in this cup?" And I was just like,
They were testing you. That was the test.
That
They
must
knew
have been the
they knew
test.
that you were going to go home.
"That was
and-
probably the test, wasn't
yeah,
it?"
yeah.
Damn it.
They knew that you were going to go home.
They
And
test
what
to
was
make
gonna
sure it's
happen.
in your system at Whole Foods. I think they make sure like, that you had some.
That you are a
that you
stoner.
had some, yeah.
I'm
before you went-
sorry,
before
sir.
you
We
came home
didn't
today.
we didn't detect the mandatory amount of marijuana in your system to work at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
But you could come back in a week if you'd like to be retested.
Oh,
There's a guy
man,
out
I
back
was just
that can
I was
help you.
scraping the resin out of my bowl, man. I ran out, dude.
Wow,
Oh,
that
man.
discussion went a direction.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, games.
Yeah, I can't find the list of. I don't think any of the games have been like actually chosen yet for the esport Olympic Games that I guess are going to be starting in 2025. It formalized the Olympic esports games with the first scheduled for 2025 in Saudi Arabia. This is CNET.com reporting on this. Hasn't decided on the exact location and dates, or most importantly, which video games titles and esports athletes will be competing in. In the past, esports competitions have mostly been title-specific tournaments, including huge international efforts like League of Legends World Championship. Oh, okay, now they're just talking about other shit. Last couple of decades have seen, they're talking about Major League Gaming. They're talking about Overwatch League failing. What did you find? What was that, Co?
Oh, I'm sorry. Someone in chat just said, who sounds a lot more like they know what they're talking about. Pretty sure the Olympics do 17 panel testing, which would pick out any drug independently, so nothing would be covered up. So it does sound like that. Yeah, that thing about the weed maybe was not accurate. So thank you.
Oh, wow. This article I'm reading has a quote from Slasher in it.
That's pretty, I mean, if it's about esports.
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
mean, it
normal.
makes
He's in the-
sense, but
He's on the Fox News speed dial. Is that esports? Call Slasher.
that's funny. Look, after watching Evo last Sunday after the show, after Drop Frames, put Street Fighter in there, you know? Zeke, you were actually in the chat watching along with me, I think.
I not only this is my first time actually watching all of Evo. Like I watched
Yeah?
it with you, and I'm like, I'm gonna check it out. Even though fighting games aren't my thing,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to JP's channel and check it out. And it was fucking awesome.
You
And
were
then
you were
I-
asking all the right questions. I know that.
Yeah. And then I went back and I watched like all the rest of Evo, except for like there's certain games you just like watch for a little bit and you're like, I don't like this. I don't care about this at all. I don't
Yeah.
want to watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was
What
a
game was
couple
like
of
that for
those.
you, Zeke?
I'm not gonna badmouth any games.
Oh.
See, I was gonna ask because I know which ones you're relating to. Because
No,
even if you,
it was the Grand Blue one I didn't really care for.
oh, okay, okay,
Um,
yeah, that one's a little. Those are so in the FGC, those are anime fighting games. They're like their own
Yeah.
subset of the FGC. Funny enough,
Yeah. But I liked Guilty Gear. Is Guilty Gear anime?
it would be considered an anime fighter, yeah, but
Yeah.
it kind of transcends that just because of how popular.
Guilty Gear is an
most
incredibly
recent one, yeah.
established long-term franchise. So even though it is an anime fighting game, it's also like pretty mainstream.
Yeah.
And
I think honestly, I liked Guilty Gear, like maybe the most because it was super fast paced. Like it's
Totally.
quick as shit. Like
Also, it's
watching
beautiful.
Third Strike was fun, but it was also like more of a chess match. Like it was slow, calculated. Excuse me, it was slower, still faster than I could ever play, or like any of us could ever play, but like
It's
it was
a slower game. Yeah.
comparatively, comparatively, it was super like a bunch slower, but like you got to see every move in Third Strike. Like
you can see the inputs.
Yeah, in Guilty Gear, you're like, they probably just did like 30 inputs, and I saw 2 of them.
Yeah. Guilty Gear is a very fast event. If you put like Guilty Gear next to something, did you watch Mortal Kombat? Did you watch the Mortal Kombat finals?
Oh, yeah.
If you put it next like to that, it is a stark difference in the style of fighting game that those two are. So there's a reason I think I think the reason is they do it by number of participants in the tournament in terms of what leads up to like the big final on Sunday. So
is Guilty Gear considered more mainstream fighter than the Dragon Ball Fighter? I think the Dragon Ball Fighter is a little off the beaten path for a fighting game.
Now
I don't think they have Dragon Ball there, right?
It was not there this year.
Yeah.
But in recent years,
untraditional.
it was huge. DBZ Fighters was huge. And Austin, honestly, DBZ Fighters was, for my interest, it was fucking hype to watch because people in the crowd would actually know all the quotes that the fighters would say. And so like in the intro scenes for, if you ever watched DBZ before, the intro scenes have the characters like yelling and like doing their power up bullshit. And the audience would mimic that. And it was hype. Like it was
That's
so
kind of
sick.
awesome.
Like Cell would sit there and scream. If you want to see it, mute drop frames for a second. Go look up like DBZ Fighters Evo Cell scream or something like that, and you could just hear people screaming at the top of their lungs when Cell does it on stage. It's awesome. It's really cool.
It was really fun to see like the audience get into it. Like, you're mine.
Yeah.
You're mine. Cube.
Yep.
And when he got up to the stage, and everybody was like, are they booing him? No, they're going Cube.
I thought they were. Yeah,
he got like 3rd or 4th place or something.
Yeah.
Oh, and everyone was like, Cube.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought they were booing.
He has a cube spell.
That's
like
awesome.
Lots of cube spells.
Awesome.
One of the characters does.
He's kind of like a lame hero or like a lame character as well in the game. And so I thought they were booing him, but no, they were just shouting Cube.
Yeah.
So yeah. But Evo was awesome. I thought all of it was super entertaining to watch. Zeke, I'm glad you watched it. I had so many people in the chat that were first time watchers. Like, yeah, I don't touch fighting games, but this is so fun to watch. And like that happens every single year at Evo. As people see it for the first time, they're just like, holy shit. Like it transcends, I think, what the perceived knowledge is of esports, that you have to play the game to watch it. Because that's true for like League of Legends and stuff like that, or a lot of other esports. But there's something about seeing 2 people on a screen and watching them beat the shit out of each other that everyone's like, I get that. I understand that. There's an HP bar right there. And I know that HP bar is greater than the other one. And people are screaming right now. So it's very hype. It was good.
And it got a lifetime watcher out of me. Like I'll tune in every time it's on now.
Yeah. One of these years I'm gonna go.
Cool. It's the I was surprised at how many, like I know how many fighting games there are, or I have an idea, but like how like not all of them, like you said, like it was entrance size, get on the main stage. Like I got to the end of watching the VODs and I'm like, there's gotta be more. And it's because I'm so used to GDQ, because that's 7 days, 24 hours a day. Yeah. This is a weekend.
Yeah, sure. There is a lot of other streams, like unofficial tournaments that happen in the hotel rooms there at Evo for like super small games. Like I'm sure Dive Kick had some like hotel room tournament.
I bet they're there every year. I heard they were there every year.
Yeah.
Like a contingent of dive kickers.
Yeah. But eventually I will go to an Evo. It seems like it's in Vegas, so you're already going to have fun just because Vegas is Vegas. But it'd be a good trip just to go out there, I think, and experience all that. And also trying to get in the crowds for the finals, I think would be super hype. If you could just vibe in that energy would be a ton of fun. Although that ticket, I think, is getting harder and harder to get into the final. There was a huge issue of people not able to watch this year. because the stadium that they were in like filled up too fast, and so there was like a lot of people upset that they couldn't watch it in person, and they traveled there for that very reason. They were just not there.
Did they oversell? Like, what happened?
Well, I think Evo has like, I don't know numbers, but I think the stadium was 10,000 or something.
The fire marshal literally came out and was like, no more people allowed in this venue.
Yeah. The hall, so the hall is like 40 or 50,000, and the arena is like 10,000 is the issue. So the hall can hold a lot more people, obviously, but yeah, like Maximilian dude was doing a watch party, an in-person watch party, and they were in like an adjacent building. They weren't even in the main arena. And they had a completely packed house for their watch.
They flew out there and had to watch next door.
Yeah, well, they were doing a co-stream of it. He actually streamed it on his channel.
Gotcha. Okay.
Evo allows, they kind of gave him a little bit special treatment because he had 30,000 views.
I would hope so.
So they set him up with like a proper room and all that type of stuff for the entire weekend. But yeah, it was a good weekend for sure. And those VODs are up if you want to go watch it. Just search up Evo. So you don't even have to be a fighting game player for it.
I want to say, like, it was really cool to see Sonic Fox win in 7th.
Yep.
Evo title.
Yep.
And also, shout out to the Hugo player who was the best showman on the stage. Like, what is his name? Please someone tell me. I forgot.
Oh God, now I'm blanking. Doesn't it start with an H? Hayao? Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
that was awesome. He was so full of personality. He did the splits. He was doing like poses.
Well, hold on. He didn't just do the splits. He did the Jean-Claude Van Damme splits from Time Cop. Okay, like
oh yeah,
or from the Street Fighter movie, really, depending on where you want to go for the reference. But yeah. By the way, Zeke, he's 41.
Hey, good for him. And street fighting keeps him young.
I'm still young here. Like, maybe not so much here. Like
Zeke, that's exactly what he said in an interview. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. He was like, the whole reason I'm still feeling so good is because I play Street Fighter. He was like, it keeps me young. Yeah. It's awesome. Like us in games, man. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
He was just a treat to watch.
He was character.
He was joyful. It didn't, but the thing I liked about it, it didn't seem like he was taunting. He was celebrating.
Yes.
But he wasn't taunting the other player. And I think the other players mostly, like, they knew it. And they give him props because he's probably always been like that, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Well, even most of the competitors there, even in the grand finals, they all are like friends and have known each other for years. So the second that they win, it sucks really bad to lose, obviously. But they're like shaking hands, they're giving hugs, they're giving high fives. They're giving them even in defeat, they're happy for the other player a lot of the time. Sometimes, though, they're not, and they just leave the stage immediately, which I get, because it's got to fucking suck to lose in that way on such a grand stage and such like a hype arena and watch someone else get all the glory, blah, blah, blah. But getting second place as Evo is still crazy.
Oh.
So much information. Or so many people there playing that it's still like a huge feat. What's up, Co?
Somebody said, wait, that guy's only 41. He's almost young enough to be a Drop Frames cast member.
Almost. I'm the youngest now.
He's right. He's in the median.
Yeah, I'm not. You guys are both in the 4-0 club. I'm not there yet. I will be in. I don't know how old I am. Maybe I'm already there. I was
gonna say you're mentally there if you don't know how old you are. If you have to do that, how old am I again? Like you're 40.
I think I'm 37. Last night after I realized that I can't do what I used to do when PoE was like 2015, 2016 PoE. Last night I was just talking after streaming. I don't know. I slept 5 hours since Friday, and in the middle of a conversation of something, I just it was like I had a stroke. But I was fine physically. But I just started saying words, and chat was like, "Dude, you need to go to sleep. You're not making any sense anymore." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep, guys. I'll see you tomorrow."
Just word salad coming out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting too old for PoE marathons, it turns out. But you gotta take care of your mind. Sometimes you want to push a little bit more. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Too old. Too old. That's how it goes. Let's talk games. In terms of news, not that much this past week. Fallout London kind of surprise launched. I didn't think that they were anywhere after the delay that Fallout that Bethesda hit them with when it came to that update. I didn't know where they were, but you can play it now. It's out there. I don't think either of you have checked it out. I've heard okay things about it. I don't know if y'all's chats have been, if there's been any chatter about how it's going, but the trailer's cool. It's got some good like voice over. A lot of it is voiced. Maybe the quality is not, what one would expect from like a mainline Bethesda game, I guess, but still good. Still a lot of content there. My chat's saying good story, good VA, but the maps feel so empty. Sure, that makes sense.
I've heard it's buggy, which is why I'm not diving in.
Really?
That's what I heard too.
I've heard there's bugs and there's a lot of stuff that kind of pops you out of the immersiveness pretty quickly. So one thing that's a little bit strange is I talked to somebody last night on Discord who has put a lot of time into it since it released.
Mm-hmm.
and we were having the conversation where he says, like, it's very clear that it feels rushed. Like, some of the bugs that he was running into are like, how is everyone not running into these bugs? We got into the conversation, and it also is crashing a lot for him too. We got into the conversation where it's like, why did they release it in this state? Like, did something have to get out the door quickly, or like what happened? But
sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a little strange.
Yeah,
but
it came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Especially like they had the big delay because of the big kerfluffle with Bethesda's update. And then you'd think they would have used that time to like buckle down and re-hype, like a big re-release. But yeah, they just kind of shadow dropped it almost a little bit. And apparently not in the best state, which is even weirder.
So tell me what this is. Like, this is a mod or an add-on,
Yes.
right? It's not like
It's a mod.
It's official release.
No,
It's a total conversion fan-made mod.
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
all
much
fans.
more. It's much more than like just a mod. Like, it's not editing Fallout 4. It is what's called a total conversion. If you've heard of something called Enderal for Skyrim, it's kind of like which is another like big TC. This is a Fallout 4 TC basically. Yeah.
So this is fan made, yeah?
Yes.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Completely
Okay, that's what I'm
fan-made.
saying.
Yep.
Okay. And it's free, I'm guessing?
Yep.
You can download it off GOG. I think they did a big thing with them.
And it's easy to install as well. It's not like a crazy mod.
Do believe you need to own Fallout 4.
Okay. All right.
So
that makes
there's
sense.
that.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way they get away with Bethesda
I'm
having it
sure.
be a thing.
Yeah.
So that's a thing.
Someone made a good point there that the Fallout hype was dying down, so maybe they wanted to put it out now instead of, months from now, being that the show is kind of moved on, I guess, in the hype. But
Maybe.
Well, when you say they put it out, who do you mean by they?
the
makers.
modders. I mean,
Creators.
it's not just like they treated it like a studio would be making a game. Like it's a huge process. It's not just like 10 people in their rooms doing it. Like, it's a massive undertaking. Like a full death cycle.
but
They've been
it's
working
like
on it for a while.
You understand my confusion in being like, they're doing this huge undertaking for $0?
Yeah.
I mean, mods are a passion.
That's fine. I understand that. Artists do art for free because they are compelled to. I get that.
Here's a good way to think about it.
I just wanted to make sure that's what was happening.
So a lot of times the people that make mods are people whose day jobs are in game dev, or they may wanting to break into game dev. So mods a lot of times are passion projects, but a lot of times they can lead to monetization or really beef up. Like if a mod gets released and it's amazing and everyone plays it, the people that made that mod are going to get snatched up quick into good positions.
Okay.
And a lot of times from the company that made the game potentially. So it is kind of a free thing they're putting out there, but there are lots and lots and lots of very good reasons to release free mods that are very beneficial for people's careers and even monetarily down the road.
Right.
Cool.
They do have I think this is their Patreon, Team Folon or Folon. I don't know how to say that, but they've got 1,300 members. It's got a $3 buy-in, so there's at least some money on that. But none of that is for access to the game. It looks like it's mostly access to the Discord. From everything here, ability to vote and take part in any of the team challenges, take part in the game nights with the team. So, yeah, it's all just like Discord access mostly. Because I would assume if they started charging for like the mod files, then Bethesda would be like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? we want some of that money." Yeah. But it came out, and as our chats were saying, a little buggy, but otherwise the story is good, and the voice acting is good as well. So, what else do we got?
That's the one thing I never heard. I didn't hear anything about like the story. Have people been like enjoying the story?
Yep. My chat was saying that it's good.
I've heard that's the best part.
Okay, cool.
So that's good. If that's what you're going in for, then that you may be okay.
Sure.
Right on.
Yeah. I feel like he's done this before, but Stardew Valley and maybe that was just because I thought that's how this guy operates. But Stardew Valley creator ConcernedApe was on Twitter and responded to a Twitter comment regarding the ports and next PC update. Someone said, as long as everything you add is completely free with a bunch of new content, QOL, etc., people won't complain for the wait. Thanks for your dedicated love for the game. And ConcernedApe respond, I'd swear on my honor of my family name, I will never charge money for DLC or update for as long as I live. Screen cap this and shame me if I ever violate this oath. He followed up and also said, by the way, I'm not criticizing devs who do charge for DLC. Everyone's circumstances are different. This is just my own approach and not to be taken as a critique of anyone else. So he kind of hit the whole ecosystem.
I love ConcernedApe. That's awesome. That's very good. But a statement like that means a lot less when it comes from a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
So it's like I get it, and that's cool that he's doing that. I'm very glad. If he had not done a follow-up, like that would have been honestly kind of not great.
Yeah.
But
it would have been like
he's
a little pandering.
It's great that he's doing that. There's no question that if he released a $5 Stardew Valley content pack or something, it would sell millions and millions, and so it's very cool of him to do that. But he's also, wildly successful. So
yeah,
he doesn't need to do that at all, and he'll still be wildly successful, and good on him.
Yeah. In February of this year, by the way, if you want to know how
it's a pretty considerate ape.
Stardew Valley sold 30 million units. So yeah, he's doing just fine.
It's a solo game dev. He's doing okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He's doing okay.
That's crazy. A lot of those are still.
What about Zoidberg says that's a weird take? Is it
your take?
I don't know.
Or his take. Who's he saying?
No, I think he said it was a weird take that I said that. You think so? I don't know. I think that's a pretty rounded take, but
I think you're concerning yourself too much with that. Go.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's too much concern for what other.
I get way too concerned aped over one guy. So
you might be too concerned ape. Yeah.
You need to be more content ape. You're being pretty concerned ape right now.
More content ape.
Yes.
Oh, accurate. now we need a whole emotional spectrum of apes.
We do, and then we can sell them as non-fungible tokens. Co, what do you think about that? NFTs.
I think you just ruined my day. You know what? Wait, what if we made them look slightly bored?
I think you're onto something.
I think we're onto something.
I think.
What do you guys think?
We might do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd buy that,
I'm
right?
getting a lot of.
We could put them on yachts.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm getting a lot of excitement.
I feel like the pieces are coming
in the
together.
Chat right now. A lot of people very excited for it.
We could call them apathetic primates.
Oh man!
Thank you for that one, chat. Thank you.
Almost as exciting, or as excited, of the 500 employees over at the World of Warcraft team, because they all unionized or have voted to unionize this past week. They joined. It was Bethesda last week, I think,
Yep.
And now World of Warcraft workers have voted.
Was it all of Bethesda?
Yes? Question mark.
Yeah.
A majority of
I
developers...
remember reading specifically about the World of Warcraft one that it was wall to wall, like it was all of them. I didn't remember reading that about Bethesda.
Majority of developers at Bethesda Game Studios, Dallas, Rockville, and Austin are excited to announce the formation of their union with CWA Union. Okay. So I don't think it was
all of
wall
them,
to wall,
but a lot of them.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
It's like I always wonder in situations like that, does that mean they didn't include the others or the others declined? Like that's an interesting situation.
Yeah. 500 employees though, over on the WoW team, have joined the Communications Workers of America. They said, quote, "We continue to support our employees' right to choose how they are represented in the workplace and will engage in good faith negotiations with the CWA as we work towards a collective bargaining agreement," a spokesperson for Microsoft said in an emailed statement. Their organizing effort, which brings the number of unionized U.S. gaming employees at Microsoft to around 1,750, was buoyed by the company's unusual union-friendly stance. I can't say that word today for some reason. The new bargaining unit, which includes artists, designers, engineers, producers, QA testers, could help spur more organizing at the company. So that's awesome. I hope it continues to spread. We said that very same statement last week in terms of hoping it spreads. I didn't expect it to spread that fast. That was wild to see that come out this past week. But good job on them. And I hope I hope those conversations go well with Microsoft and they get what they're looking for as it pertains to the collective bargaining agreement. I guess kind of in the same vein, bargaining and strikes and whatnot. SAG-AFTRA has called for strikes against major video game companies after nearly 2 years of contracts talks. I think they have a list of kind of the names. The 10 companies facing the strike are Activision Productions, Blindlight LLC, Disney Character Voices, Electronic Arts Productions, Epic Games, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Take-Two Productions, VoiceWork Productions, and WB Games. The strike went into effect on July 26th. And my understanding, it was around AI. It says we're not going to consent to a contract that allows companies to abuse AI to the detriment of our members. Enough is enough. When these companies get serious about offering an agreement our members can live and work with, we will be here ready to negotiate, SAG-AFTRA President Fran Drescher said in a statement. So, yeah.
So I ended up talking a little bit about this yesterday and realized that I needed to educate myself more in the situation and did a little bit of that last night. And I will say that, like, the more I look into it, when we mentioned the SAG-AFTRA thing yesterday, there was definitely some people in chat that were like, oh, you know, another strike, blah, blah, blah. But there are some actual real concerns that there is no language protecting people from taking the content that they pay for from voice actors, turning those into AI, and then making new content for their products with that AI. So it's like, there are some serious things that need to be put in these contracts that need to be locked down, like no question, because the more I look into it, the more I'm like, yeah, they kind of need to do this. Like the fact that those aren't in there is kind of insane. Because they don't even have control over it in a lot of cases. Like literally their industry is just letting it happen and no one's really putting the brakes on it. And the only people that are like, we're not going to. The only people that can are like, we're not going to. So they're kind of like, yeah, we need to do something. And that's kind of where we are with this. So there are, for the record, they have been bargaining for a while and there has been back and forth. And I believe the reason that it stopped is because they got to a point with the AI where they can't move any further. But there's been confusion because some good stuff has been done. You know, so that there has been positive movement for the actors, but that AI is a very big sticking point. Am I going slower than? There we go. Okay, that was weird.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. In this Deadline.com article, they said a spokesperson for the video game producers weighed in on the strike news saying, quote, We are disappointed the union has chosen to walk away when we are so close to a deal, and we remain prepared to resume negotiations. Wait, is this? Yeah, this is July 25th. Sorry, I thought that this was eerily similar to the big strike that happened a while back.
Well, I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing. Like,
Yeah,
it's, you know, negotiations happen. They get to a sticking point. They both make their announcements, and the stuff happens. So it's, you know.
Yeah. Bargaining has continued on and off for that length of time. The union said Saturday that while negotiations were ongoing, the parties, quote, remained far apart on artificial intelligence provisions. So we will keep an eye on it. They did also put out a statement. I think it was them, because a lot of streamers were like, hey, are we like crossing the line if we stream these games or promote these games? And they said no, but if you are going to do that, you know, talk about the strike, mention the strike, explain it, you know, inform people on why it's happening. So that's what we're doing. That's what I think most streamers should do, is listen to that stuff.
More like, it's a big deal now, but the real big deal is going to be how the other guys react to the strike. So like, this is something we're absolutely going to need to start loudly talking about, all of us as gamers, if these guys are really going to stick to the fact where it's like, no, we're just going to, you know, use AI as much as we want, and it doesn't matter, and we're not going to respect any voice actors. Like, if it gets to that point, like, we're all going to have to kind of say something if we want decent voice acting in our games.
Totally, yeah.
But hopefully right now, you know, the hope is that this will scare them into the action they need to take. So,
yep.
See.
Another weird, kind of a weird thing here. Humble Games. I think everyone knows them for the Humble Bundle, but they're also a publisher of indie games, and they laid off 36 people on the 23rd. So earlier this week, that was on Tuesday. Said the entire team was let go. Another employee who was also a producer also confirmed he was being laid off. In a statement with GameSpot, Humble Games confirmed that Humble Bundle will have no impact on its operations. Additionally, ongoing and upcoming games from Humble Games will still move ahead and be published by the company. Some of the publishers, or some of the games rather, that you might know that they publish are Stray Gods, Bowpath of the Teal Lotus, Chinatown Detective Agency, Eichenfell, Unpacking, Slay the Spire, and Midnight Fight Express, just to name a few. So the company also got out there and said that they're like rebuilding. They're not shutting it down, but it's like a rebuilding process, and that just restructuring our operations.
Real weird. They fired their whole team and basically said, we're restructuring and everything will be fine. And it's like, and then members of the team that were fired were like, no, it's not fine. Like they fired everyone. Like it's not fine.
Yeah.
Which was very awkward. Yeah.
Very strange situation. Yeah. It's a weird way to restructure their operations.
Standard corpo talk? Yeah, pretty much. Which is really unfortunate from Humble Bundle, right? Like, of all the companies.
I was just gonna say, man, it's like Humble Bundle was great. Like, they didn't have a big black mark besmirching their reputation, and now it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
I guess you're just like every other company. Okay.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Very strange stuff.
So much for the chosen one.
Yeah.
I have to choose another one.
Very strange stuff. I think my dog's throwing up, so I'm going to go investigate that real quick. Co, why don't you talk about Concord's second free weekend on PS5 with an 8% player drop compared to the closed beta? Game's not doing well. They had an open beta and it saw a viewership player drop.
Wait.
Have fun. I'll be right back.
Really? Oh no. What do I do with this information? I can't. Wow.
Is Concord the hero shooter?
Yes, Concord is
That's the one we talked about last week.
What is it? The Protectors of the Universe hero shooter.
Right. Guardians
legally distinct Guardians of the Galaxy hero shooter. Yeah, I did a stream for it, a sponsored stream, and by the end of it, you know, everyone was asking me what I thought about it, and I was like, it's fine, but it's not going to get me back into hero shooters. Like that was kind of the line. Like it's more of exactly the same, except like with Marvel attempts. So anyway, needless to say, it turns out that everything we thought about Concord was true, and that the world does not need another well-made hero shooter that copies Overwatch. And here we are. So I mean, that's the thing. It's one of those things where it's kind of like everyone was saying it, and now we're here, and it's like, and here's where it's crazy. Let me back this up a little bit. Hero shooters are something that people love. It's a very active, large genre.
Okay.
However, most hero shooters are like free to play, and then they have their little mechanics to keep that going and stuff.
Right.
So there's two fronts here. The first is, if you release a hero shooter, you've got to have something that separates your hero shooter from the pack. Why would people play your game over all the other ones, right? That's the first thing you need. And then the second thing you need is a monetization system that makes sense. Okay, people like your game, so there's a good monetization system so they can acquire it, right? Cool. So for most of these games, that's free to play. So, you know, hey, I like this game. Cool. I can just play it right now. Great. And I'll play it and I'll get invested in it. And then maybe I'll buy some cosmetics and some other stuff. And, you know, and that's worked for a lot of games.
Right.
However, these guys decided, this is what happened with Concord. Let's make a game that clearly does not have the distinctive characteristics of the next big hero shooter. It's very much more the same. And then let's charge $40 for it.
But that's a one-time fee, and they're never going to charge you anything else after that, right? Sorry. I had
No, it's funny. It's funny. Now, here's the thing. Their argument is just that. Their argument is if you pay the $40, then you'll get all the extra content for free, right? That's great. But here's the problem. That only works if people want your extra content. And you can't really sell a $40 game that doesn't bring anything to the genre with promises that you're going to put in more stuff that is already not unique or interesting. So they've put themselves in this very interesting position where they're basically selling a promise for something that nobody really wants. And then they're saying, trust us. And the whole thing falls apart. Like the whole thing falls apart at that point. And then of course there's a PlayStation account required, which is another barrier of entry. And it just kind of, when you make like a pros and cons column for a game, Concord just has like a mile-long cons column and a very small pros column. And the worst part is, and I will say this, and I know a lot of you guys are gonna probably go crazy about me when I say this, it's not a bad game. It's pretty. It's got decent sound effects. The gameplay was fine. The heroes were fine. Like it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game. But
we have Overwatch at home.
But we've played that game 10 other times. That's the problem. And we haven't necessarily had to pay $40 to play that game 10 other times. So again, it's like this weird, like the managed expectations don't match up with reality, don't match up with what they're selling the game as, doesn't match up with what the players want. It's just all of these misaligned things. And it's really unfortunate because this is definitely one of those products that probably should have been stopped right at the focus group. Like this is one of those products that should not have made it out of the let's go make this group.
I will honestly be surprised if Marvel Rivals, like even with its you know, name recognition and star power. Like
I like JP. What are you gonna say about that Marvel Rivals game?
No, please. I was gonna say let him finish because I want to know what.
I'd be surprised, like even with that, if it was a huge success.
Oh, okay. I mean, numbers wise, it seems like it's gonna do well. I think it had like 50, 60,000 on Steam, but it's also free. So like, well, right now it's going to be free. Right now it's actually hard to get a key. I think I saw keys going on eBay for like $50. Funny enough, people were selling keys that bots had scammed from. Funny enough, Twitch drops, which we can talk about if you guys want, because it was kind of a shitty system that they set up for all of that, because those keys lasted all of 30 seconds on Twitch before the pool ran out, and then people had to wait 24 hours for them, even though they were claiming like drops after watching streams for an hour. They were getting nothing from their drop. It was a really weird setup.
Oh, that's not good. And of course, people are going to get mad at the streamer for that.
Yeah, yeah. In a lot of cases, they will or could. But yeah, Zeke, the thing that I think you're right, because like when I played Concord, I made the point that like the characters looked fine, but none of those characters had the like. I was trying to figure out what it was, like what it was missing that like I couldn't quite grasp, and I settled on they didn't have the charisma. They didn't have the like, man, that character's really fucking cool. It's like, these characters are fine. And then you go to something like Marvel Rivals, and it's got like, you know, all your favorites from the Marvel world. Then yesterday they just introduced Jeff, who's a rather obscure character from the Marvel world, but he's a baby shark that's a healer, and people are going crazy over him because he's super fucking cute. So
that'll do it.
That'll do it. You
immediately said baby shark, and I was like, can I play it? Because I kind of want to.
Yeah, they added Jeff the land shark, and he's a healer. And when he like goes under the land and walks around, he hums the Jaws theme. So like they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to those characters.
Is Jeff from Deadpool, like Deadpool world, or?
He's kind of like in the same thing, same world. He's pretty obscure. Yeah, he's an obscure thing. I think he was probably popularized because of Marvel Snap. He's a really strong card in Marvel Snap, and so people that played that know who he is. And now they like cutified him, and so people are like, "Oh my god, that's a cute baby shark who's got like a really cute voice." And does
baby shark?
Yeah, does cute animations, and we're gonna be able to sell skins on him, and he's gonna be the moneymaker for the game. So yeah, they've got the charisma in those characters though, and like Thor got added in yesterday, and he looks like a fucking hulking. It's King Thor, so you're just like, fuck yeah, like he's a tank. He looks badass. It looks good. We'll have to see how they monetize it. That's still to be seen how they're going to do all that. If you're going to be buying characters, if you're going to be buying skins, if you're going to be buying both. But yeah,
people are telling me it's from Gwenpool. Like I'm supposed to know what that is. I don't read the comics. I watch the movies. That's it.
Yeah.
Like it's Gwenpool. I know it's a Deadpool spinoff, but like
it's
Gwen from Spider-Man.
Kind of. It's a storyline within the Deadpool world.
Okay, it's a convoluted thing.
Yeah,
we can stop.
We can leave it at that. We can leave it at that. Yeah. So it's gonna do. I think it'll do well, at least initially. Like the hype is there for a lot of people. Who knows what happens 6 months after the fact, Zeke? You might be right in terms of it falling off the face of the earth, but NetEase seems to be doing well with the updates for it. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, the closed beta started this past week. I was playing it. It was still a lot of fun. I'm still having a good time with it. I need to get back to it. They're doing a lot of FOMO crap, which NetEase is prone to do. If you hit like gold and ranked, then you get a skin that is permanent to your account and all this like blah 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 blah. The typical mobile NetEase crap that is added into a lot of those games. So yeah, that's the big. A lot of people in chat are being like, "Oh, it's a NetEase game." Yeah, it is. It is indeed. That is the one thing that a lot of people are going to struggle with, I think. But Once Human was NetEase or is NetEase, so that might have helped a little bit with the name. So, and they also put out a banger trailer as well the other day. The trailer was like really fucking good. It was like a CG trailer showing the story of the game. So we'll see what happens with
Marvel.
Yeah, for Marvel Rivals. Yeah. Very good and worth watching. But Concord, hype's just not there. I don't know. Did you guys discuss the actual stat or just discuss like why it was failing when I walked away with Concord?
Talked a little bit about like why it failed and okay. Is it thrown up again?
No, yeah. He's just over in a corner staring at a wall. So I'm just wondering what the hell he's doing.
What did he eat?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
the issue. I don't know what he could have
Watch the Blair Witch Project. This is not going to be good.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye
You
on
know
him.
how this ends.
We'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that the viewership was, at least in my chat, was from Steam, but the website that I'm reading it from actually had the data sample from PSN accounts. If you look at the PlayStation chart that ranks the top 40 most popular games every week, Concord ranked in the 29th position both weeks. And they used 3.1 million active PSN accounts courtesy of the partnership with Game Insights. It said that Concord has 8.1 fewer players in the second open beta than in the early access beta. So, yeah, rough go. And that comes out next month. That launches August 23rd for 40 bones. So about 25 days from now, 26 days from now. Rough go. What else is happening? I don't know if I want to cover this only because I think it's one, a hot button issue for stupid reasons, but it's also, I don't know why I disagree with Ubisoft posting it in the first place. But they put out a thing for Assassin's Creed Shadows for the Japanese community. And it just
unnecessary, so dumb. God damn.
Yeah.
The trolls, you don't talk to trolls. You don't give them food. Jesus Christ, are we stupid? The internet has been around for so long.
Yeah.
We know better than this. We ignore trolls and move on.
Hold on, real quick. Zeke, what do you think about the Ubisoft stuff?
It's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of complexity. You know, yeah. I think we could have a nice, calm, orderly discussion about it.
Sounds good. Let's okay.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we say that jokingly, but to just read the actual thing that they posted, I don't think would fully. You'll want to know why they said that, and that's a pretty long-winded answer when it comes to why they're saying that. But yeah, essentially they talked about the overall authenticity efforts of the game. They also talked about the creative liberties and historical inspirations for the characters, specifically one character in the game. And it starts out and it says, to our esteemed Japanese community, a message from the Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for all your support. Uh-oh, now he's puking right below the desk. He's like dry heaving. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I wish I had some. Oh, he's on the Ethernet cables too, so if it goes down, it goes down.
Also, before you continue on, I was like completely misfiring on what I was talking about. I was not talking about like the Japanese government. I was talking about like what I had heard. No, people are saying like I was calling Japan the trolls. No, what I had heard was people were posing as Japanese people saying they were upset about it. That's who I was talking about.
No, there were, to be clear, and just so it's said, there are some very meaningful, serious feedback, some very serious things being told to Ubisoft about what they're doing with this. Like, it is not just people trolling.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I completely apologize. I retract my previous.
No problem. There are definitely trolls, though. There are definitely trolls. but yeah, it's also a kind of a serious issue.
I was wrong, and I'm sorry. I said it on the internet.
A first for being wrong and sorry. I don't know how to help this dog. I would be like, guys, I need to end the show, but I'm just going to sit there and be like, hey, are you going to throw up yet? I don't know what he's doing. I feel so bad for him.
Has he ever done this before?
No. He must have eaten something, which I just moved. So there's boxes everywhere. But the fact he went outside and used the restroom and it was fine. So that's good. He's just probably got something in his throat or stomach. But yeah, the Assassin's Creed thing is quite long winded and a much longer story. Ooh, that was deep. I love that you guys are getting the sound effects of Ollie throwing up walking around the room. It's so stupid.
And my poodles, they do that all the time.
Oh yeah.
There's
yeah. It's a little dry heaving situation, but feel bad for him. What else? I don't really have anything else to add to the Assassin's Creed situation. It's they did a bunch of silly stuff, but at the same time, it's also a game where like you kill the Pope and the Pope's an alien, and people are like worried about authentic history, and I don't know, like
But Assassin's Creed, like, it's based on historical events. Obviously, it's not like, it's a work of mostly fiction, right? Hasn't it always been?
Kinda loosely.
They take liberties with historical stuff.
Yeah, my understanding is the whole message was actually because they like commented on a history professor that was then outed and like lied about what he said in terms of a character having historical authenticity or some shit. It gets really muddy at that point. That's kind of where I stopped. Because then Japan was like, actually, none of that's true. Like, you guys, that's all made up. So that's why they put that statement out.
Yeah.
Are you good, bud?
You think before making the Assassin's Creed, which is like, one of the titles that most people have heard of, you would do all the research that you needed to do like before you risk pissing people off.
Yeah.
Dark Capellion says Ubisoft said multiple times that we're making it historically accurate, then tweeted out saying it wasn't historically accurate, and in the community notes, the Japanese community roasted them with all their previous comments. Is that the TLDR?
Some of it, yeah. I think it started a little bit before then from different folk on the internet being against it in the first place, and then it kind of spread and got a little bit further. If it seems like I'm skirting the conversation to people in the know, yeah, you're pretty dead on there. A lot of that crap I just don't care about. I just don't want to give any credence or comment to. But
I mean, and
it's also not a documentary,
just like,
right? It's a fucking video game. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What were we gonna say?
I will say that I'm starting to get like more and more frustrated with Ubi as a company, because it's been like multiple years now where every time I hear something from them, it's just bad. Be it like NFTs or courts or dumb stuff they're doing to Siege or like bad decisions with this stuff. It's just like, or repeating the same thing they've done in their games over and over. It's wild, man. How like there hasn't been anything positive about Ubisoft for actual years. Can you name one?
You're right.
No, not really. They haven't had the best headlines, that's for sure.
Oh, and that's not even getting into the whole SA culture in there. That was a whole other huge thing.
That was a whole nother thing, yeah.
That was a whole nother huge thing. Like, my lord, man.
Yeah. I will say Anno 1800's pretty good. That's a pretty good game.
Every so often a pellet from a shotgun has to hit. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. Yeah. Broken clocks right twice a day. All right. I'll give him Anno.
I hope that new Anno game's good. Whatever that one. I forgot what it's called, but they did announce that. Yeah. I think
you mean the PoE League?
Yeah, right. That's the
transition.
They worked on it. Yeah, that's actually, I think that's it for. Stalker 2 was delayed to November 20th. That was
totally fine.
That was announced, and yeah, totally fine. They did it in a fun way in the video that they showed. They kind of poked fun at themselves for delaying it again. But that's that's a thing.
I saw that. That was great.
Yeah, definitely check the video out if you're a fan of Stalker. What else? We got the Dragon Age the Veilguard, I think, voice actor list. They also announced that they're verified on Steam Deck, and that it will be Steam native, and that the EA app will not be required to play the game. So that's good. I think another story where that is actually happening right now. What game was it, chat, that actually requires you to have Epic to play the game that got super review bombed this past week that I can't remember the name of? EDF 6. Yeah, that got super review bombed because
I never heard of that. Damn.
You have to have Epic even if you buy it on Steam. So a lot of people are upset about that. I think that's it. We could talk about games we've been playing. It's actually been a while.
Real quick though, I this is not video game related, but I gotta know your thoughts.
Okay.
On RDJ as Doom.
Yeah, weird.
That reveal was awesome.
It was a really cool reveal. Weird. I was on stream when it happened, and so like I'm like excited about it. But at the same time, it's like you can't look at that and be like, oh, Disney gave him the bag to get Marvel like back in the forefront, right? Like,
yeah.
You can have like this, you can have zero cynicism in your entire body and still look at that and be like, oh, he got fucking paid. Like that's your first response. He went and got his Oscar for Oppenheimer, and then he's like, oh, I'm back to the money. So yeah, it's funny. It's also funny, I think, too, when you think about it, like the second they announced that, everyone is like, Kang who? And like all of that conversation about Kang and the future of Marvel and all the bullshit with the actor just like immediately goes out the window and is forgotten about because everyone's like, hey, fucking RDJ's back. Like,
yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Robert Downey Jr., RDJ.
No, the other guy.
Oh, Kang. Oh, Kang. Yeah.
Which is
no. I'm asked, who is that?
Well, it doesn't matter anymore. He's not going to be he's not going to be a big focus.
Doesn't matter anymore.
No, like the actor got into a huge. Yeah, he was in two things, but the actor got into a huge sexual assault thing, and like is in a huge amount of legal troubles. Jonathan Majors, and Marvel dropped him. They just said like, yeah, we're not working with him anymore. So that's why it doesn't necessarily
This isn't like
matter.
A casting issue. This is like this guy should. Okay.
Yeah.
Very different.
Okay. Yeah. Or domestic violence, not. Yeah. Sorry. Not whatever I.
Still
said.
Terrible. Not really any better or different. Still
yeah. But I think that court case already started, or he was found guilty. I don't know where it's at. It doesn't matter. He's not going to be in the films anymore.
That's it.
So, yeah. Zeke, in short, I hope they make it work. I hope it's not just like a.
I was super confused by the choice, but I saw the people started posting like what it's from comic book wise, and there is like a precedent for that.
Yeah,
like, hold on. I don't know if it's a what if or something like that, but
I'm going to ask a stupid layman question here for us that don't read comic books or follow this stuff. For the record, I don't even watch the Marvel movies. Dr. Doom is in the Marvel universe, right?
He's not in the MCU, but he is in the Marvel universe in the comics, yes.
Yeah. Is he going to be interacting with any characters that interacted with RDJ as Iron Man?
Probably.
Isn't that going to be really freaking strange?
No, because Doom never takes off his mask.
Oh. Ever?
Ever. But it depends on how they do it. Because like if he does take off his mask, then yeah, they're gonna know. But they have the multiverse bullshit to fall back on, so like
now wait, but like Doom got warped to another universe in a suit, and then the suit like fused to him, and he got brought back into our universe and went power hungry, crazy mad, right? That was his whole thing.
It depends what origin story you want to go with. That's not necessarily the proper origin story, but yeah. In some of the lore, yes, what you just said was correct.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's like any way. They're not going to do some weird thing with Iron Man and Doom, right?
Yes, it's in the comics. that's how that goes. Yeah, there is an Iron Man variant that becomes Doom. Or
there's a possibility that the
Iron
Man at the end of that did the thing in the Marvel movies.
No, because that's a different. Okay, now we're getting into multiversal theory. That's a whole different Iron Man.
Okay, never mind. You know what? You know what I just realized? I don't care enough about this to want to continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and end it here.
But
cool,
the line of questioning that you were just on, Co, is exactly what they have to convince the rest of the world. Is like, how do they make it so it's not just, oh, you guys wanted
It seems
RDJ.
really weird to have a giant big name playing multiple distinctly different characters in the same franchise. I love RDJ. It's phenomenal. If he was every role in a movie, I'd probably watch it. But it's still a little strange.
Yeah.
It's still a little, it's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just a little weird.
If
It's kind of like one of those situations where it's like you really couldn't find someone like no one else. Like, and that leads you, but see, and then here's the thing that gets even weirder. That leads you down this weird path where it's like, there had to be someone who could have played him, but they picked him. Why did they pick him? Is it just to use him to revitalize the franchise? Like, I don't know. Whole thing is weird.
Yeah. Could be both. Could be a little bit of both too. Yeah. But.
And if it is for that reason, that's just weird. Like, I don't know. Feels very corporate.
Definitely weird, but as both a RDJ as Iron Man fan / RDJ and Marvel in the MCU fan, if he's back in a film, then like, fucking let's go.
That's exactly what they're hoping for, isn't it? You are the perfect
100%
consumer for them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's weird. I don't even watch it, and I'm like, I like RDJ. Cool. The more he does, the better. So
yeah,
like, I mean, there's that is definitely a factor. Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm absolutely looking forward to him being like just a solid bad guy.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. Anyways, I think that's everything for news. What do you guys, Zeke? Let's start with you. People know what me and Co have been playing because we're addicted and we can't stop.
Oh, what have you
been up to?
I'm on the spot now. I don't know what the fuck to do.
What are you up to, Zeke?
You know what? I'm really interested in like NES games from the late 90s. Is there anything you could help me with that?
There's no such thing as NES games from the late 90s, but I get your sentiment.
Oh. What is it, 80s? Late 80s?
Late 80s, yes. Late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of stuff. I had this I actually watched the Awesome Games Done Quick, or Summer Games Done Quick, I guess it was. And I saw someone speedrun Ninja Gaiden. And I was like, every time I see a speedrun of that, I'm like, I never fucking beat that game. And it's always been like this little itch in the back of my brain going like, you remember you played like I many hours. I don't, maybe not 100, but like at least 30 or 40 hours of the game trying to beat it, and you never did as a kid.
Yeah.
So
fucking hard.
I'm going back to a lot of those games. Now, people have come in and suggested like, what, did you play Ikari Warriors? Did you play Battletoads? And it's just like Silver Surfer. Like, I don't want to beat any of those. Just like, let me just say that right off the top. Like, there are games that I never beat, but never wanted to. The whole reason I'm doing this is because they're games I wanted to beat as a kid, but did not. So Ninja Gaiden was always one of them.
Yeah.
And fuck, it took some goddamn doing. And more than half, in fact, I would say like probably double the amount of time the rest of the game was all level 6. All the 5 levels leading up to it was like half of the time that it took that level 6 took.
Wow.
Because, and this is par for the course for Nintendo, for old Nintendo games. It's, you die a certain number of times, at least in Ninja Gaiden, you don't have to go all the way back to the very beginning. You do have to go back to the beginning of the stage, the hardest 3 stages in the fucking game, and you've got to go through them again. And even if you get to the boss with like 3 extra guys, if you die on the boss of stage 6, you go back to 6-1. So it was 6-1, 6-2, 6-3. So you've got to go through all 3 of those, get to the boss. If you die, you go back to the beginning of the stage 6. It is fucking brutal. Now, that said, you get really good at memorizing stages. Like, I still could probably get through 6-1, 6-2, 6-3 just because of how many times you are forced to do it if you do it without save states, which is like part of the arrangement that I made with myself. It's like, okay, there are certain things that I will like allow myself to do, which is I will allow myself to use a save state as if, I don't know if you guys did this as a kid. I'm sure a lot of you out there did. As if I left the Nintendo on overnight because I had to go to Little League or left it on for a few hours. And then you take something, a little piece of paper, a book, a magazine or something, and you cover up that Nintendo light somehow. So your parents don't see it.
Your parents don't see
power.
Yep.
Yeah. So I use save states in that way where I will say like, oh, I left it on all night and I'll come back to it the next day if it takes me, multiple days to do it. Which is what I would have done as a kid if I had the option to do that. And my mom didn't accidentally bump it with the vacuum. Or my dad was like, I saw the light on, so I turned it off. You're welcome. I'm like, God damn it.
You're welcome stings so much when that.
Yeah. And it's like, I didn't leave it on. Oh my God. I left it on purpose. Anyways. So, and also, with certain games, I am, and I have no shame about this at all because it would just be time consuming. I am using save states to practice. Because the brutality of it is that you go back to the beginning so you don't get to practice the thing you need to beat at the end because you die. And that's the same thing with a lot of I have to do that with Ninja Gaiden, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You lose your guys, you go back to with TMNT, you go all the way back to the very beginning. Title screen.
It's funny you say that because we were talking about something that we'll talk about later in PoE today, and we actually equated that exact thing to something in PoE.
Oh, did you?
Nice.
Nice.
Still happens every so often.
But I'll tell you this. I don't think that I have had more satisfaction beating Ninja Gaiden. Just to let you know, I'm on volume 6 now. Games I never beat, volume 6.
Oh.
I beat Ninja Gaiden. I beat Castlevania 1. Never beat that as a kid. Castlevania 2. But Castlevania 2 was the easiest. It only took me 4.5 hours, but mostly because as a kid, I didn't know where the fuck to go. It was very confusing. So, Castlevania 2, TMNT for the NES. Yes, the one with the swimming dam stage where buzzing, zapping, and all that shit. That one. And now I'm currently on... and Kid Icarus. I'm actually on 7 because I beat Kid Icarus as well.
Oh, Kid Icarus, man. Oof.
That one was more of a slog than it was difficult. It wasn't
Maybe
super
I have some
difficult.
rose-tinted glasses for that one.
No, so did I. You have fond memories of these games, and then you go back and play them, and you're like, oh my God, it is so just unfair, brutal. Whatever adjective you want to ascribe to it, it is that. It is very much that. And I think the reason why is because it pads time.
Dude.
Because you can only fit so much on an NES cartridge, right? So if you're going to do an action game, make the last level super, super difficult so you get player hours out of it, I guess.
So, little bit of real talk. I've done this show for years, and I remember being on this show years ago. In fact, I remember ordering this thing while on this show, and that was the classic Nintendo. And my whole plan for my kids was that I wanted to introduce them to gaming via the time. I wanted them to move through Nintendo, and then I was going to get them
Are we being punished?
it took me watching my son try to play Super Mario Brothers for about 15 minutes to be realized, like, no, dude, like none of this is gonna work. Like the old games it would have caused confusion for my son to start on those games and then move to like normal games these days. They're not only hardcore in the older games, they're brutal. Like they are brutally difficult. Like at one point, he was doing, I don't remember what game it was. It was just one of the games on the NES thing. And he was getting frustrated because he couldn't do it. So I was like, here, let me do it. I had like 6 times in a row trying to show him. And it was just some like dumb series of jumps and I was just like, you know what? Let's go play balloons. So I think what I'm going to, that completely changed my plans. I was planning on introducing having my kids grow up with games like I did. But I think instead what I decided to do and what I'm doing now is I'm introducing them to current day gaming. And then as they get older, I'm going to like have them go through that from a like, teenage perspective. This is where they came from, a learning thing instead of like, I'm forcing you to do this to grow kind of thing. But just goes to show you, man, you're absolutely right. Like going back and looking at some of those games and approaching them from like, this was angled towards kids like our age when we were younger. It's wild how difficult those games are. And they're brutal. You make 2 mistakes and you're starting over from the beginning 45 minutes ago. Like learning nothing, having no opportunity to get better. Sometimes you don't even know why you died. So yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough.
No, but it's been like some of the most satisfying. Like, I think when I beat the like non-DLC Elden Ring, it felt like that. I was just like, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fucking did it. Like, especially Ninja Gaiden and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like when I beat those games, it just felt like it was, I don't know why it was such a weight on me, but it's like, I remember playing and failing at these games as a kid so clearly and vividly. And just to like, I just like dream of me like high-fiving my 12-year-old self. Like, we did it. It took 30 years, but we got there.
That's wholesome, man. That's freaking awesome. Like that's great, dude.
Yeah. Yep. No, and Blaster Master, like I thought Blaster Master was going to be a little more forgiving. No, I'm still
okay.
I think this is one of those games you get 4 continues and title screen from the very beginning. So yeah, beating this game. This game is also
oh, dude. So this is for me. This
such
is like
bullshit.
Master Blaster is like one of my favorite games from the NES era. And there's like tons of nostalgia. There's like emotional ties to it because me and my brother, this is like what we first bonded over in terms of playing games. Yep. My dad got involved. So like, it's a pretty pivotal, I would say, game within my life. I've never been past the like 2nd level because it's
I commented on that.
Fucking hard. It's so unbelievably difficult.
It's the the main thing that fucks you up in this game, and the wall that I came to was there's the 4th level. First of all, I just want to agree with you, JP. After I got the hover, that was the last. I'm going to the last level I ever saw as a kid.
Yeah.
I never got past the hover level. But the hitboxes on someone pointed this out and I was like, holy fuck, you're absolutely right. You spend all this time all this time upgrading, but you're inside this badass jumping, flying, rainbow shooting tank. You never fight a boss in the tank.
Yeah. It's always on foot.
It's like you have to fight a boss as your little peeny weeny self. And that sucks.
Peeny weeny.
Yeah. And also the hitboxes in the game, in the when you're doing your out of vehicle missions, you go into the boss arenas. The hitboxes are just on the main weapon, which is your grenades, because hardly anyone ever uses the little fucking pea shooter. It's like, I swear to God, the hitbox on it's like a pixel wide, but the explosion is that big, so you never know where the fuck to put the shit on the guys. Man. This guy took me forever because his hitbox is 1 pixel wide in his mouth, and my grenade looks like it's blowing up this huge section, and it's not. It's really not. It is fucking awful.
This was as far as I got.
I am angry for you.
You should be. You should
I'm
be.
pissed.
This frog's jumping on all of us right now. It's been jumping on us for 30
I'm
fucking
getting
years.
Jumped on right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the last one I
I'm
got to
pissed.
before as a kid. This was the last thing I got to, and I never knew like what the strategy was, because I was always like, you got to come straight on and get it, and I was just getting blasted every time. I just got frustrated and stopped playing.
Yeah.
Now that I know, I never got that.
Now
key,
that you have
never went to the
a
next
chat room.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh no, backseating is totally fine.
Oh, I bet, dude. I bet. Yeah, man.
Oh, it's absolutely fine, because as a kid, if I had a strategy guide, I would have no shame cracking that shit open. Absolutely none. But like, it doesn't make the games any less bullshit. Like, sure, there are tricks. There's, pause tricks on certain bosses, but it doesn't work on every boss. So some bosses you have to beat organically, and some bosses are a crap boss, which has the fucking stupidest hitbox in the fucking game, and you die at him 6 or 7 times in a row, and you have to start from the very beginning of the game, and it sucks, and you have trauma from your childhood about doing that.
Yeah,
Zeke,
no,
you all right, bud?
I can relate.
Okay.
So wait, how far have you gotten then in Master Blaster? Because you said you haven't finished it, right?
No, I'm currently on a run right now, and I am on dungeon 7 of 8, I believe.
Okay.
To
So I
take
think I
on
have
drop
2
therapy.
Yeah.
2 more bosses before the end. But I think I only have 1 continue left, so fingers crossed. I'll be tackling that on Monday, by the way. Or
Okay.
Tuesday. Monday's
All
off.
right. Yeah, because a lot of the stuff, like you said, I've never seen. I didn't even know that there were 8 levels in the game because didn't have chat, didn't ever have a strategy guide. When I was
And well, like I said,
10.
someone said all this information is in the manual. It's like, okay, rich kid, I guess you got the game brand new. I had to get my shit from the used video game store, and it was cart only in a clear plastic generic case. I didn't have no fucking manual for this game.
You got the cart, I got Blockbuster. And if you got a manual, it was like winning the goddamn lottery.
dude.
Yeah, if it came with a manual, holy shit.
Hold on. You guys, core memory just got it. When you would go to Blockbuster and it was day 1, it was a Tuesday or a Friday when they had just put up the new games for the week.
Yep.
And you'd crack it open and realized that the manual was brand new. And
that it
smelled
was yours for that point forward. Yes.
No,
Yes.
no. And the smell was also fucking insane. The smell was crazy of like those, when you would open up the cartridge, all that stuff was just core memory. However, a lot of times there were note sections in those manuals. So I would always add notes to it, specifically like the Mega Man games back in the day when you would have to have the punch codes to like skip past. Yeah, I would always add that shit in there.
You would help the next person
I would help the next
with the note
person.
section.
Yep.
JP, you were so good. What happened?
I never knew if that ever helped anyone, but I was the guy that filled that out. Yeah.
Listen,
That's like
When
that's,
you
that's
said-
like actual good person moves, man.
when you talked
Wow.
about the note section,
I'm
JP,
impressed.
I would have bet everything in my bank account that you were like, I put fake shit in there to fuck with the other.
I know, right? That's what I was
No,
expecting.
man, it was always real.
That's
he's
awesome, though,
like, you know those skip codes that you put in the beginning to get like unlocks and stuff? I would make 1 letter wrong. I would make 1 letter just a line, so they'd be like, is it an I or an L? I don't know. Oh, but it was neither.
I forgot my entire point. The reason why I brought up manuals was because the manual for Blaster Master actually super fucking helpful. It would have been really helpful because it has a basic layout of where the worlds are.
Yeah.
Like this is world 1, world 2. It doesn't show you exactly, but it has a basic like, oh, you have to go through world 1 to get back to 4. Oh, you have to go through 2 to get to 8. Like as a kid, fuck me, that was confusing as shit, dude. But the manual was super helpful, but I had never seen it until 3 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, man, this would have been very, very nice.
It's true. I don't think I ever rented a NES game that had. I don't know if they put manuals with them back in the day,
Well,
well, no, I mean like when you would go to Blockbuster to rent them. Did you ever get a NES manual when you rented a game?
all the time.
Okay,
I
never saw.
I
one.
would all the time, but I would not more than I would. And we would always ask for them because we would want to know like any tips and stuff. Because a lot of times they put little tips and stuff in the manual.
Yeah.
And every time we'd ask them, they'd have to go back and look to see if they'd have like the store one. And then they wouldn't every time. And then they'd be like, yeah, you could check some of the other ones, but they probably all got taken like usual.
Yeah. Yeah. I always got them with
serial manual
SNES
stealer.
and 64 games
area.
though. The newer games always had, at least if you got them that first week, you could always.
Dude,
find
I
them there.
remember I asked for Legend of Zelda, the original gold cart for number
Gold
one,
cartridge,
Legend
yeah.
of Zelda. Yeah, I asked for that, and I got a used copy of it for birthday or something, and it had the original box, had the manual in it, and I remember like going to bed, and that was my like reading material for like a month.
Sure.
It was
Yeah.
just like looking at like the Zelda manual and be like, oh my god, this is like so much lore. And you play the game, like it doesn't really look like the drawings in the manual, but it's still pretty good. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Well-
the lore behind it was so like intriguing to me at the time.
Yep. Yeah. We.
I did that with PC Gamers.
PC Gamers. I was about to
That was
say
my bathroom reading for decades.
Nintendo Power was mine way back in the day.
What
Nintendo
was
Power.
it? Next generation. There was a few like good ones
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah. PC Accelerator was one. There was a lot of Tips and Tricks magazine that was all over the place.
I would even read Mac Addict. I have the first
Mac
episode of that
Addict?
magazine. Remember Mac Addict? I had the first episode of that magazine, and they had this
issue,
spread
not
in
episode. Issue.
Issue. I remember this vividly. They had this spread in it, and on one side was a guy in a business suit, and the other guy had like shoulder length hair, wearing casual clothes, and it was like Mac user, Windows user, and it like listed like all the things. It was so bad.
Oh man.
Oh, now I need to go find it. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was like it showed the Windows user. It pointed to his tie. And it was like always thinking about business.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, I
guys-
love it. I love
Those
it.
were the ads.
Were you guys one of the part of the team that printed out pages from GameFAQs?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And made like walkthroughs that I'd bind, and that
Yeah.
would like, oh yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
hell
They
yeah.
had staple the top. You have like these like just like huge like 20 pages of like just like GameFAQ printout shit.
Yeah. That stuff was great. Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
It's 10 out of 10. So Zeke, you mentioned you rattled off 6 or 7 games. I think you're currently on
Yep.
Master Blaster and number 6. Do you have more lined up? Does this does
Yeah,
this
we
have an
actually like
end?
I had some time at the end of the stream the other day after I beat Kid Icarus, and I wrote down some of the ones that I actually want to beat. Not sure if I will be able to due to my age and skill level, but on the list are Mike Tyson Punch-Out. Never beat it.
Yeah.
Contra. I beat it, but without the Konami code. I've never beaten it without the Konami code. There's a few maybes on there because I'm not sure if I have fond memories of some of these games, like Rygar. Rygar's a maybe. Like, do I actually like Rygar? I don't remember.
Was that the one with the guy that had the giant yo-yo?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just throw that like dunk, 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 the big ball thing.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Loved Rygar.
Double Dragon. Never beat Double Dragon. The first one. I don't think I really played the second or third or whatever. One that locked in for me that I remember, like, oh shit, I never beat Dragon Warrior. The very first Dragon Warrior. I never beat it. It was like my first taste of like solo JRPG. Like not party based.
Oh.
It was like, yeah, I never beat it. What else is on there? Oh shit. There's a few maybes. Okay, these are all maybes. Boy and His Blob, Fester's Quest, Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3. But one that I really do want to give a shot to that I never ever beat, and I fucking have hours in RC Pro-Am. I had so many hours into it, and I never fucking beat it. I got to the end, the cars, like, because you change vehicles along the way. I got to the cars like once or twice, and then just lost. So that's gonna be a real satisfying one when I beat that shit. Friday the 13th. I never beat Friday the 13th with all the campers and like, you know, Crystal Lake and shit. I never beat that shit. So that's gotta be on there too.
Okay, cool. I mean, you got a long list, so there's a lot of games.
And
by the way,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably continue the fashion of like play new game for a half, play old game for a half, and I'll probably swap which halves I do them in, just so morning people can get some retro shit.
Yeah.
As well. So like I'll do after Blaster Master, I'll do early 4 hours of retro games I never beat, and then I'll do a new game, whatever that is.
Makes sense. Cool.
I'd like to give a shout out to Card in my chat, who actually unlocked a core memory for me.
Oh, nice.
He explicitly was like, I remember on Game Fakes printing out and analyzing and going over all the original Mortal Kombat fatalities.
Yeah.
And I did the exact same thing. I remember having like a list of like, and you couldn't do the arrows on Game Fakes. They wouldn't part. So it'd be like the words down, right, down. And like, you'd have to like look at the, yeah. Oh man. That was, yep. Oh yeah.
I remember going to, like
facts.
before.
He means facts, guys. Shut up. You know what he means.
Yeah.
Game Facts. Yeah.
Game Facts. Yeah. Going to the arcade.
I'll always call it FAQ fakes. I'll always call them that.
Going to the arcade when MK2 just came out and people didn't know the fatalities, but people would like find them out. And so that's how it was word of mouth. Like there was no other way because the strategy guide wasn't out. And so people would be like, have you seen Scorpion's Babality? You're like, no.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would do it and you're like, oh my God, that's so sick, man. It's just with the baby. Oh my God, that was incredible.
The people in the freaking dude, I remember specifically when the what is it? The cabinet was in the arcade. And people would do fatalities, but wouldn't say how they did it, and they do it so fast, and then people would be like, how do you do that? Well, I guess you have to play me and let me win to find out. It's just like, what?
Yep.
How do you know this forbidden information?
Yeah.
Why aren't you sharing it with the class?
That's how it went.
Now,
oh my Lord.
Let me ask you guys this, speaking of core memories, do you remember the first time that you saw a fatality in Mortal Kombat?
Yep.
I remember exactly. It's vivid to me.
Yep. I don't know if it was the first time, but I remember we were traveling. My brother was in band in high school, and we were going to a marching band competition. And we were in Arizona somewhere. We went to a Best Western hotel, and in the basement of the Best Western hotel, they had an arcade, and it was one of the few places that had a MK2 machine at the time, and it just came out. So like we walked down, and there was a crowd of like 20 people around it because people were seeing it for the first time. And people were like, check out this fatality. And I was like, what the fuck? It was great. It was 10 out of 10.
I remember there was Aladdin's Castle. For those of you who remember, Aladdin's Castle was an arcade.
Yeah.
It was the best arcade because it was like a little cave and it was dark and it smelled like old, soda that was, soaked into the carpet forever. And I love that place. I have a lot of fond memories of that place. But one of them was like, in our mall, there was like side entrances. You didn't have to go through the main entrance. If you knew where your store was, you could go through like sort of a back entrance, and the back entrance was right near Aladdin's Castle. So I walked, and it was just like, you get out of the hallway, open the doors, and take a left, and there's Aladdin's Castle. So I take a left, and I turn around, and I see this new game, and like 20 people, 30 people crowd around. I'm like, what the fuck? And I walk up, and I don't remember how old I was. I had to be like, when did Mortal Kombat first come out in the cabinet?
Early
90s?
Yeah, I was
been a while.
I was like
92,
9.
93, something like that.
Oh, MK1. Yeah, that would have been 91.
The
or
very first Mortal Kombat cabinet.
Yeah. I would say like early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. So I was like 11 or 12. So I walk in and I see this shit. And I see Sub-Zero. And you hear, and like the sound effects were like nothing we'd ever heard before. Oh, ow, oh, like real pain screams. You're like, holy shit, someone's being tortured. And then you hear like, dun-dun-dun. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And it rips off his head and then he holds it up and I was just like stunned.
Yeah.
Just sat there. I was like, I looked around as if like, is
everyone
legal?
okay with this? Yeah, is this okay?
I thought it was I thought what I just saw was against the law. I knew it was anime, I knew it wasn't real people. But like, I was like, this can't be condoned by anybody, right?
Yeah.
Except for me, who loved it.
Yeah. Yep. Good times. Good times that people won't like. That experience won't happen again for future generations, at least in that way, that form.
Yeah.
They'll have their versions.
They'll have their version of it for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The first time they get handed an iPad.
It'll be different. Yeah. But
the first time they put on a
time...
VR headset and
no. I mean, no, seriously. Like, think about it. There was violence in games before Mortal Kombat.
You're saying with violence specifically?
I'm saying, I'm saying like that feeling Zeke had. I think there are a lot of kids are going to go through like they're going to see violence in games one day, and be like, "You can do that?"
Yeah, sure.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, Zeke, how old were you when that happened?
I was 11 or 12 whenever it came out, like 91, 92.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect.
I was fascinated.
Yeah,
it was.
It's a lot earlier now.
You know, I played like shooter games in the arcade where you like have a gun and you're like and you're shooting guys and there's blood and stuff. But this was so much more visceral because you were tearing off a guy's head with your bare hands, and you saw his spine.
Oh, that's very true. And a good example of that is I know my kids have seen violent games. Like my son Rowan has come down when I'm playing FPSs and stuff like that. But I'm 99% sure they've never seen a fatality. And that would be a completely different experience for them to see that.
Especially the fatalities
like
now.
One?
Yeah, dude, that'd be...
Just seeing it, let alone a fatality, just seeing any Mortal Kombat played with X-rays and everything turned on, like, that would be very confusing.
Dude, I watch those now, the character reveal trailers, and I even am sometimes like, oh, Squeamish. God, right, I forgot that's what they're doing now. I forgot that's where we're at. Yeah, they're really...
The X-rays, dude,
crazy.
in that game are a thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're a thing.
See, I am, like, they don't affect me as much as the old fatalities because they look... It's either A, a horror flick that's just gore, or B, it's like you're watching an anatomical, like, car wreck. Like a car wreck happening, in real time, and it feels so clinical.
Yeah.
The thing about of X-rays, especially, is that there is no question you can't use the word gratuitous. Like when you say gratuitous violence, that is literally the X-rays. It shows you violence that is so extreme that it could not possibly happen in the context that you're seeing it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then it just goes on as normal. It's like, dude, I just fractured the top 3 vertebrae of that man into pieces. He can't just start punching me again.
Yeah.
Like that's not how this works.
Yeah.
He'd be like, what do you? So yeah, it's a really weird thing. And honestly, for me, in a lot of ways, kind of like it's hard to. I used to have Mortal Kombat in this kind of like almost weird reverence where it's like that's the violent game, but especially recently, it's gotten to the point where it's just like that's just like it's like kind of it's gotten so over the top that it's just kind of, you kind of have to laugh at it. Like it's not like that super violent real game anymore. Now it's just violence for violence. It's not even,
it's very,
dude, and I said for years, I think I probably missed like a calling, and that is designing brutalities and that kind of shit for Mortal Kombat. I could definitely I would love to just muse about like, okay, now, I want to stick his hand up his ass, but I want it to be, like, not sexual. I want it to be just brutal. And, like, I want you to feel that pain. And then I want to take his eyeballs out and then put him in his chest somehow. So he's looking at you through his chest cavity.
Are we watching the first Beetlejuice right now?
Yeah, that's what he just described.
Is that too far of a reference? I'm sorry.
You know,
Okay.
Beetlejuice 2 is out. It's getting popular again.
Oh, you don't remember the eye of the chest?
I do.
Okay, never mind.
I
Never mind.
do.
Oh, you do? Okay,
I
good,
remember
good,
it. Yeah, I'm saying our audience might not. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's a 2-hour show. I'm actually going to take the dog to the vet, the ER vet. I think he ate something. He hasn't left me alone yet,
Okay.
so
Good
we're going to
decision.
end early.
Good decision. Okay.
But we can do shout-outs real quick. The other thing, too, is me and Co have been playing PoE, and that's it. Like, PoE.
That is so funny. The tweet had PoE in it. We haven't said a word about it.
I mean, the season's incredible this season. Like,
Yeah.
it's the best season they've done since, like, 3.0. Like, there's not.
It's the kind of season where it's like they would be absolutely insane not to make this a core league mechanic as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible. It's actually incredible. But we can talk about that next week.
We can. Yeah, for sure. Anyways, dude, real quick shout out, Zeke. What do you got going on?
What's up, everybody? My name is Ezekiel III. You can find me at /Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, or Ezekiel III, all spelled out, on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you to Co and JP. I broadcast usually every day at 1 p.m. Eastern, except Mondays, which are my day off. But if you want to catch me, I'll be on Tuesday, and I'll be playing. I'll be playing a new game that I played the demo of. I believe it was called The Operator. Really cool. What is it? SCP conspiracy detective investigation kind of game.
Ooh.
So we'll be playing that for the first half, and then for the second half, we'll be back to Games I Never Beat Blaster Master. And that's what I got. Thank you for watching.
Fantastic. Co, what do you got going on?
Sure. Hi, my name is Co. As always, big thanks to JP and Zeke. This week I'm going to be doing probably a lot more PoE, and I also have like many large games I'm playing in parallel. We have a Terraria Calamity playthrough that's been going awesome. Just got some new stuff to do there. PoE is going on. I'm also playing not Left 4 Dead. I keep saying Left 4 Dead. 7 Days to Die 1.0. We started a thing in that we're doing. We have so much going on. But I am going to be streaming every day at 8 a.m. ET, playing all sorts of random things as we go into the week. And I hope to see you there. Right after this stream, I'll probably sneak in an hour of PoE as well before I have to go for the day. So, yeah. What about Once Humanish stuff? That's a conversation for next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. I saw a little bit of what
yeah.
you were saying about that.
Yeah. So we'll go into that more next week.
Love to
Anyway,
have a
as always, thank
longer-
you guys for watching. And get that dog to the vet, man.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
call on that.
I'm gonna get out
Good call
of
on
here.
that.
He's
Yeah,
being a
great.
little. He's acting a little out of character.
If he is still acting out of it after dry heaving an hour ago, that's vet. That's vet time.
Yep. Anyways,
sure.
that's that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Apologies for the short show. I'll give you updates on Ollie on Twitter for those that care. And I'm out. I'll be at Alveus. That's the next big thing that I'm doing on Thursday at the Animal Sanctuary. So that'll be a lot of fun. Going and checking out all the animals and hanging out with them. So look for that, and I'll talk about it next week on the show. If you don't, we're out for now. Have a good rest of the week. Bye-bye.